Greetings once again to all my fellow watch enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video might be seen and shared. It's Celine Driver once again, coming to you with another conversation video, number 13, I believe, one of my famous watch conversations. I decided to do this one from behind the camera instead of in front of it because to show examples on the other camera is a little bit harder to do since I can't exactly see what I'm doing with respect to showing you watches. Quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing my Seiko SKX 011 that was modified by Long Island Watch with the new blue bezel, the blue Mercedes hands, and the strap code bracelet that fits better, and the sapphire crystal with the dome. And obviously, you all know I'm a fanatic Florida Gator fan, and I love the orange and blue combination. Anyway, the topic for today, as you've already seen in the title, where do I buy watches, was actually inspired by a fellow YouTuber, actually two of them, Watch Lounge, Chris over at Watch Lounge, I think did this recently. And also a friend of mine who is totally not a watch channel. That would be Uncle Lou. Shout out to Uncle Lou and to the Uncle Lou channel. If any of my subs or viewers are college football fans in general, you have got to go to the Uncle Lou channel. The Uncle Lou channel is the ultimate in trash talking and college football analysis. I mean, this guy is funny, he's knowledgeable, and when he's not trash talking every other team in the college football association, except for his Georgia Bulldogs, he's quite fair. He will do fair analysis. He will do great commentary on what's going on in the college football world. But in the end, he is a really, really crazed Georgia homer. And that comes out in the videos he does, which are actually quite funny, unless he's skewering your team and fan base, in which case it stings a little. But he's a great guy. I've met him in person. I've done a radio show with him. I've called into his channel, his call-in shows often. Great guy. But he actually asked me this question while I was visiting with him. Where do I buy my watches? I said, that would make a great video. So I'm going to do that. Where do I get my watches? Well, I get my watches from various sources, but it does boil down to a few things. And I have examples of each place I've gotten watches right in front of me on the table here. So let's get started. Where do I get watches? Well, one of the best ways to get a watch, in my opinion, is direct from the manufacturer if you can. I realize with the big boys like Seiko and Citizen and the higher end iron like Rolex or Nardine or Patek or Patek or however you pronounce it, that's not going to be possible in most cases. But in the case of the smaller folks, like my favorite brand of Zelos, in this case my cherished and coveted Zelos ZX8 Blackbird, which is the watch face is a piece of SR-71 Blackbird reconnaissance jet metal. Only 40 of these in existence. and I love this watch. It's a fantastic chronograph. It's a fantastic historical piece, and it's one of my very favorite watches, as I think you all know. But getting a watch directly from the folks that market them and build them is certainly a great way to do it. You get a really good price. If you've seen Zelos offerings, you know that they are very reasonably priced. Even the higher end watches like this are under are under $2,000, and most of the stuff he offers that is not quote unquote special, uh, they can be had for under $300 in some cases, certainly under $500. So and also the advantage of buying direct is you also have a pipeline to the folks that made the watch and sell the watch. So the customer service is. I've run out of superlatives to describe the customer service of Elshin, so I won't rehash that here, except to say that I have higher end watches that don't have nearly the customer service of Zelos. So I am a fan. I'm a fanboy. I admit it publicly, and I hope I never don't become a fanboy of Zelos. So direct from manufacturer, in my opinion, is one of the best ways to do this when you're investing in a watch. Other places that you can get watches are online forums. I mean, there are all kinds of online forums out there. Too many to name, really. But my favorite one happens to be Watch You Seek. That's WATCHUSEEK.com. They have forums for most of the major brands. I mean, they have forums for Doxa, Seiko, Grand Seiko, Rolex, Tudor, Omega, all kinds of manufacturers. And WatchUSeek is where I found my first Squale purchase, which happens to be the Squale 1521. The Azure, I don't know how to pronounce that. Yes, I did see this on the Urban Gentry when TGV reviewed it, and I said I love that blue. I got to get me one of those, and I looked around, and the place I found one with the best price and with full kit and in really good shape, except obviously you can see there are some scratches on the flanks. They're not really noticeable and they don't bother me. And I found this watch on WatchUSeek. Now, the thing about forums is obviously you're not going to have the price protections or purchase protections that you have through, say, an eBay or from. I know the thing doesn't line up perfectly. I can't, whatever. Yeah, did it again. You're not going to have all the protections of buying from a store or buying from eBay or whatever. So that's why I always recommend when you're buying watches through an online forum like WatchUSeek or other similar places that you use PayPal or you use wire transfer. But I prefer PayPal because they protect the purchase. If something goes wrong, you can file a complaint with PayPal and you can use PayPal to help you get your money back. If you use the goods and services option, of course. If you use friends and family, you're kind of, out there on your own. But if you do your research and you look at and most of these places have the ability to look at, check the seller's profile to see how long they've been on there as a member on these forums. I mean, if you see someone that put a watch up for sale and they've only been a member for a couple of days or even less, that's a red flag, guys. That would be one that I myself would walk away from unless either the deal was fantastic or perhaps you know the guy personally from another place, or something like that. But I would research as best you can the the ID of the seller. A lot of these forums, What You Seek definitely does have a feedback forum where you can see if this guy or gal has done transactions in the past and what other people have to say about them. And they have moderators on their various forums that you can ask questions of that will help you to determine if this seller is legit. But all those caveats included, online forums are good places to get watches. I have a few of them. So far, knock wood, I haven't been burned yet. It probably will happen at some point because everybody gets burned at some point, but hopefully not. Another very popular place to buy watches is eBay. I mean, you knew that was coming. I mean, eBay it has a plethora of watches. They have watches, they have new watches, used watches. They have watches from $10 to $100,000. They have all the brands, all the big boys, all the high-end luxury brands you could ever want. Although, quite honestly, buying a Rolex or a Patek would probably give me the chills. On online, it's certainly been done. On eBay, I should say, it's been done. But as long as you've done your research and you know what you're looking for and you know what you're looking at, and the pictures that they provide are show the serial numbers and model numbers in the proper places and so on, you should be good to go. But it's always buyer beware. Now, I happen to have picked up, after a year of searching and research and knowing what I was looking for and looking at, I found my Grail, my recent Grail watch that I reviewed in another video, my Breitling Navitimer Twin 60, my 1 year only production Navitimer, which I didn't think I would find anywhere. I found. I was looking at all kinds of different Navitimers, but I really liked this one in particular. And I believe it or not, I found it on eBay, and I found it at a really good price that I could live with, and I found it fully functional and in great shape. I did change the band from the black one to a blue one because I prefer the blue better against that blue face. But I mean, it's a working watch. It works beautifully. It keeps excellent time. The lume glows beautifully. The chronograph snaps back. I mean, it's everything I wanted in a Navitimer. It's in great shape, front and back, side to side. And I found it on eBay. And I didn't think I would find the Breitling that I wanted on eBay, but I did. And I'm very happy with that. So, as I said, if you know what you're doing, and I'd like to think I know a little bit about what I'm doing at this point, you should be all right on eBay. But, do your research, do your homework. Don't rely on anyone but yourself to make sure you get a good purchase. Now, I had to borrow this watch from the collector that I borrowed a lot of high-end watches from to do my next examples of where I buy. I have not bought watches from these next two places that I'm going to describe, but he has. And since I know him real well, I trust his word. This is his Rolex Deep Sea Cameron that he bought, in this particular case, from European Watch Company. Now, there are several high-end online sellers, clearing houses, if you will. They take in watches from all over the place, estate sales, private sellers. In the case of another place I'm going to name, Chrono 24, they have individuals who sell watches on there by themselves. They use Chrono 24 sort of like they would use eBay, but Chrono 24 seems to have a little bit more research and protection built into them than, say, a typical eBay listing. And EWC, European Watch Company, they do the selling themselves, so they vet the watches very carefully before they put them up on for sale. And yes, the crown is unscrewed. I always leave my screw-down crowns unscrewed until I wear them. It's so that if I go to wind them, I'm not unnecessarily unscrewing and screwing and unscrewing and screwing the screw down, so I don't accidentally rip the threads apart. So that's been brought to my attention. I'm well aware that my screw down crowns are open. It's not like this watch is going to go swimming. Certainly not with the person who owns it. They bought this watch through European Watch Company. It was fully vetted and authenticated before it was put up on their site for sale. And they have some of the watches that people are looking for on EWC. If you're looking for a Batman Submariner, or you're looking for a no-date Submariner, or you're looking for one of these, or you're looking for a Milgauss, the one with the green tinted crystal, or you're looking for a specific Tudor or Omega, you're looking for one of the moon watches, they have them. That is probably the best bezel action in the industry, bar none. I love it. So if you're looking for a higher end watch and you want somebody to do the vetting for you, a place like Bob's Watches or European Watch Company or Chrono 24 are great places for watches. Some of them will negotiate price with you, like eBay, but there is a bit of a premium for going through those type of places. But in exchange for that, maybe paying a little extra, you're getting some peace of mind, which is a good thing. Let's see. Where else do I get watches from? Stores. Online stores. One of my favorite online stores is Long Island Watch. Mark out of New York. Long Island, obviously. That's where I got this reissue Arnie, Seiko Arnie, that he was selling. He actually put it on sale the day that he announced it for a great discount, and I just, can't read it. Mark, you got me. I mean, I couldn't resist. Nice thing about dealing with an online store that has a built up reputation, like Long Island Watch, like I've never dealt with them personally, but like Joma Shop, or that place over in Singapore. Or is it Noman with the silent G in front, that I bought my Squale Laguna from. Places with really good reputations and a really good variety of name brands. Those are great places to get watches from. They usually have very good prices. Shipping is usually pretty quick. I got this one in 3 days. From New York to Florida. The Squale that I got from Noman, I actually ordered it. It's a funny joke. I actually ordered it Christmas Eve 2018, and the watch arrived from Singapore to Florida before New Year's Eve. So really great turnaround, really great customer service. They answered the emails very quickly. They have a great online presence, both of those companies and others that are out there. there are too many to name. I'm only going to be talking about places I've dealt with, or in the case of EWC and Chrono 24, someone I trust implicitly has dealt with. So an online store like that is a great place to pick up a watch. An individual seller. I picked this watch up. This is the vintage Flightmaster that I recently picked up and reviewed from Luis Gonzalez. He actually has a presence all over the place. I mean, he's on about 3 or 4 different places. I think he's on Etsy, he's on eBay, he's on Chrono 24. He has the ability to sell these watches individually, and he's a great guy to deal with. And if you've established a rapport with an individual, like for example, Chris over at the Watch Lounge. I never met him personally face to face, but I've talked with him and messaged with him and support his channel, and I know the guy. I got a really good feeling for who he is, and I haven't bought a watch from him yet. But if I was to do so, if he had a watch that I wanted, and he does have a couple, but I'm not able to afford 1 or 2 of them right now. He's got some of the higher end stuff, and I'm trying to conserve a little lately. But if he had a watch up for sale that I wanted, I would have no problem handing my money over to him, because I know I'm going to get the watch. I know it's going to be like he says it is. And he has a really good reputation out there in the watch world. So, or a guy like Random Rob. I don't know if you've heard of Random Rob or not. He has a really good channel here on YouTube, and has a good presence on Facebook. He's a supporter of my channel here, and he does videos daily, and he does watch sales every week, what he calls Sunday Fun Day. And I bought 2 watches from him, and they were as they said they were. They came when they said he said they'd come, and they came in the way he said they would come, and nothing has ever gone wrong. So individual sellers, great. As long as you've developed a rapport with them and you have a certain level of comfort, go for it. And one of the last place I'm going to go over is a place like Facebook. There are various forums, Watcha, Buy, Sell, Trade, Zelos Timekeepers. You can find watches for sale there. You can find watches for sale on Collection Watch, Quartz Horology, Fun with Watches. There are endless numbers of watch forum groups on Facebook. I happen to find this vintage Seiko Panda watch that I reviewed on my channel in beautiful condition. I mean, just for the age of the watch, this watch is in spectacular condition. And I picked it up, and it arrived. I checked other people on that watch group, and they all said that this guy was a solid guy, and I should have no fear of purchasing from him. And so I did, and the watch arrived in beautifully packed and excellent condition, and at a price I could live with. So Facebook, great place to pick up watches. But you've got to do your homework. Any of these watches, with the exception of the Zelos, because I guarantee, I would stake the lives of myself and my children on the fact that Zelos would never screw you. Any of these other places, you're running Long Island Watch isn't much of a risk. European Watch Company and Chrono 24, not much of a risk, but places like Watch You Seek, eBay, individual sellers, Facebook, it is a bit of a gamble. So my advice to you is, whenever you're buying a watch, Do your research. Do your homework. Ask the seller questions. Ask questions of people around the seller. If you're going, the Facebook route or the individual seller route, if he's selling individually on a site where there are reviews, read the reviews. If you're on What You Seek, search the guy or gal's ID on the feedback forum. See if there's any positive or negative feedback. Check with the moderators. See if this account is legit or not. If it's on Facebook, don't be afraid to post up, hey, has anyone dealt with bloody, bloody, blah? Positive or negative. I guarantee you, I always respond to those. If I've dealt with the seller myself and I've had a good experience or a bad experience, I'll say something. If I had a good experience, I would encourage the guy or gal who's buying to go ahead and pull the trigger, keep the hobby going. If I had a crap experience, I'm gonna tell them, this guy sold me a watch and it was badly packaged. It had more damage on it than the photograph showed. It took forever for the watch to get here. Whatever. I'm not going to be shy about my negative opinions on someone. I'm not going to be shy about my positive opinions. And I don't want people to be shy about what they have when they have experience working with me. I've sold stuff on What You Seek, on eBay, individually, on Facebook. So I value my reputation, so I try and do everything I can to make sure that when I sell a watch, it's as good as I describe it to be. It's well packaged, and it gets out the door quickly so that the guy or gal who's buying the watch isn't waiting for it. So best advice I have for when you buy a watch is do your research, do your own homework. Don't rely on anyone else but your own work, because it's your money at the end of the day. Once that money crosses the table and that watch comes back to you, now that watch is your problem. They got your money, and unless it's something that PayPal can help you with, that's your watch. That's now your joy or your problem. And again, always try to use PayPal or use your credit card with the places that you'll use credit cards for, and make sure your credit card has buyer protection built in. So if that watch never arrives, or it arrives and it's not what you were told it was, that you have avenues to get your money back. Recently, I ordered a watch. It came in. I'm not going to say who it was from. I'm not going to say where it was from. That's not material. It came in. It arrived broken. I contacted the seller. He was very agreeable. He was apologetic. And I sent the watch back, and I should have my money back. And within a day, a few days of, and that's the way it should be. You should be able to send the watch back, and then within a day or two of that watch getting back, you get your money back. It was done through PayPal, so I'm not really nervous about getting my money back. If I don't, I can always open up a case with PayPal. But make sure you're purchasing in a manner that has protections for you. Never, 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 never wire money via Western Union or any of that crap. If they ask you to do that, walk. No, don't walk, run. Wire transfers through your bank, they have protections built into them. That's okay. But I found that PayPal and credit cards with buyer protection are the best methods. The only way I would do cash is if I was face-to-face with the guy or gal and I could see the watch working in my hand before I handed them the cash. Other than that, I'm not doing cash, I'm not doing wire transfers, and in my humble opinion, neither should you. So I hope this conversation with you has been useful to you. I hope that down below in the comments you will continue the conversation and tell me about places and ways to buy watches that you found that I haven't named, or if you've gone to the places and people that I've named and you want to share your stories, please. That's why I do these conversation videos, to continue the conversation after the video is over, so that people who are watching the video and reading the comments can learn from our experiences. You can learn from me, I can learn from you. People who are new to the hobby can learn from all of us. So, if you like this video, and I'm sorry it went a little long, I realize. If you like the video, thumbs up, please. I appreciate it. It helps me out. Comments, stories, suggestions, questions down below. I read them all, I respond to them all, and I delete the garbage. And if you're not already a subscriber, please click the subscribe button and click the bell icon next to it, so that when I post new videos, new content, you're alerted and that you can come over and watch them. The channel is growing, and Lord knows I appreciate all the new subscribers that have come in. I'm getting close to 1,000 at the time I'm recording this, which is December 2019. I'm getting close to 1,000. My goal is to get to 1,000 as soon as I can, and then hopefully I can start growing the channel even higher than that. I appreciate you all stopping by. I hope you all are having a good day, and I will see you in my next video.